What?
Is he in the server?
Yes, he's sleights of hand.
Okay.
But I think he's either busy or passed out because he hasn't stopped in like days. But
I mean, when you're on the time crunch, you're on the time crunch.
Yep.
You go until you pass out, then you go some more. Not healthy, but
No.
job done.
And I know that we talked like at the end of either the last session or the session before the last session. We touched base about things like, things don't like. We were looking at a much more. We were looking at doing a slightly different type of campaign. This one's very people-oriented or group-oriented. There's, relatively clear definitions of people and raiders, etc. Is that, I guess, so the first question is, do we want to continue along those lines? Do we want more of an explorative game? Are we looking for something a little bit more in the political spectrum? I know that we tease the Crater Lake pamphlet, which does kind of point it in the exploratory / etc. way. And I want to make sure that we're all okay with that kind of theme of a campaign.
Yeah.
And if not, like ideas or things that you really liked or really don't like in said campaign.
Plus, I know Plus, I know there's a few of us that have played like Fallout 76 and played other games in between. I'm sure the disappointment from Fallout 76 has spurred people to go back to other Fallout games. So, just things that you really hated about that, really like about the other Fallout games, maybe upon reflection of the past sessions and things like that. I do have a synopsis that I am finishing writing out, but Kyle, as you can tell, is just kind of stalling for time at the moment, trying to collect and start people thinking about bringing back the session. I know it's been a while for everyone.
I mean, I wouldn't mind exploratory stuff.
I think exploration is always fun because you never know what's gonna happen. Just like
Exactly,
you're going, like you're going off into like Nowheresville, and then
suddenly super mutants.
yes,
To remember that when they show up, and you
it's
put
even
that
like
on the
the
list.
the feeling of like, oh, like you go in this direction and suddenly things are way stronger than you expected, and run away, and like
Like an actual
Run
Fallout.
away.
yeah. So you want like oh my god, this is not my level area.
Sort
That's
of.
supposed to be here.
That's when you just.
an Amber Temple sort of thing. 'Cause that was a
Got it. Wily Fox noted. Yeah, exploration is definitely on the list for this, so it's good to hear that you guys.
Yeah, I would love to see a bunch of exploration. I do like interacting with other sentient creatures.
I can't just drop random
I guess
computers for you.
I guess I can't just say humans because that's not all that are here. I am going to throw out a mild interest in settlement creation.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I'll second that.
Maybe not for part 2, maybe for part 3 if we get to a part 3.
Yeah. Whatever happens, happens,
Yeah, we'll see who lives. Okay, cool. What, so when you say, what kind of creation are you looking for? Because the feel for, say, Fallout 76 was very different than the kind of community sort of thing that you were building in other games. which one were you kind of leaning towards? And what kind of role do you want it to be like? Do you want it to be something that's role played in the game, or do you want it to be something that's more like, I know in the Dark Isle, for example, you guys are doing a lot of, or have done a lot of crafting and off-screen stuff.
So I think a mix of that would actually be good.
I mean, we'd have to, like, if we're doing like a whole settlement thing, we would have to, tell people about it and be like, hey, convince people to come and, like, this is a place worth settling and building up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or, like, even whatever happens to Withervale while we're away. Maybe we come back and it needs fixing. Or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like suddenly super mutants showed up.
All right, that's two super mutant comments.
Call that 3 super mutant comments, because everybody. It ain't Fallout without super mutants.
I mean, I have no problem
Eventually.
creating situations where you guys almost die, i.e., the very roadside thing that almost ended this game before it began. Oh, they're going. Oh, one's down.
First hit, I'm immediately unconscious.
Two's
I
down.
remember that.
Oh shit. Well, thanks for watching The Burning Winds, everybody. It lasted half of one episode. All right, got it. More real world tough stuff, more building stuff, more freeform exploration. So, I'm totally excited about doing more of that stuff because we have spent some time modifying a lot of other rules that we haven't really gotten to use because I feel like there was a lot of story to kind of get you guys weaved into first. Now we're approaching a part where you guys can go and explore and do what you want. The thing is, that means that I'm going to kind of step back and let the awkward hang, so to speak. Like, I'm not going to push you. Everybody's just going to let you kind of do what you want. If you are near, other NPCs, which I'm sure Anders would like to be, and Bishop and others. But they're not gonna push you. The area where you guys were, as how we left it, that you guys were heading towards, Sans Rest. What you've heard of that place is very laid back. Not much about it, but you've heard much more laid back. They didn't want to be a part of the trading monstrosity that the people wanted Withervale to be a part of. So you know that it's going to be a slower pace and that people just kind of mind their own business and go about doing whatever it is that they want to do that helps the community stay afloat. So that'll be in line with what you guys want to do, and then from there you can explore. I know to do, brief bits of synopsis and bring in the story that we've already done so far. Going back, Bishop and Liam, you guys came from the NCR outpost and had goals of kind of getting that tied into Withervale. Bishop, I know you were like, I got my magazine, I'm gonna Girl Scout sell my guns, they're gonna buy them. Whether or not they work with the NCR matters little as long as they buy my guns. Or so I thought. That was the gist that I got. So you made yourself known there for that. And Ethan, Anders, and 1218, you guys were, if I remember correctly, you were looking for a supposed scrap pile or some kind of useful area that you were told would be nearby this Crater Lake in Withervale area. And then you guys kind of just got swept up in other stuff. So maybe we'll get back to kind of that scrap pile that they wanted you to check out or that you heard about. I think the way that we're going to do it, having Liam not be a part of the game anymore, I think what I'm going to say is just write him off as you guys were preparing to leave Withervale, whether or not you actually do. Some of the soldiers that were filing into Withervale to kind of set up shop and take roll call and get some structure to the town saw Liam there and mentioned that the command wanted him to take a lead point on the accumulation of Withervale's assets and just basically be a figurehead at Withervale to kind of make things go smoother. So that's where he's going to reside until further notice. But you guys do have your discount at Withervale. You guys have successfully kind of brought them into the fold for NCR. Now, whether or not that was on any of your goal lists, I don't know. But where do you guys think, from where you started to now, where your goals kind of are? You know, you've been catching up with the raiders and figuring out what's going on with them for so long, and there was this big battle, and it seems like you won. But, where's your mind right now? Like, what are you thinking? Do you think they're done? You beat them all? What kind of parts of the fight don't settle well with you, if any? Do you think, yeah, we did a good job, we got everything done?
Well, there's a lot of them here. But,
A lot of dead bodies?
yes, there are a lot of dead bodies. But, like, on both sides, but mostly on their side, I think. Like, they all died, right? Like, they didn't... I see some without X's, but I don't know if I forget if they ran off or if they actually,
I think we murdered everybody.
You definitely made that a goal, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two got away, but not if you saw them, so... and more importantly, you definitely made smoosh work of certain somebody.
Yeah, did we find out why they were doing this, like this town specifically? Because like they walked a pretty long way to get here, or did we just know they were coming? I don't remember.
Does anybody have a answer?
I think part of that was there were more and more raids coming in to Withervale itself, to the point to where they were basically being told, submit to us and we'll let you live, kind of thing. Otherwise we're just going to destroy you, and you weren't cool with that. So we knew they were coming.
Yeah, but like, why? Like, why?
Because resources.
It seems like they had...
I don't think we ever found out their true, like, motive for doing it.
Because I feel like... it's not really our job. Like, 1218 would be like... I don't think it's really, like, their job to, like, go infiltrate and find out if there's more of them and like, find out why this happened. Because this is, like, a little town. Like, yeah, they have resources. But what they expended to try to do this seemed like a waste compared to, like, what it is.
For some reason, I keep having come to mind is that it was like some sort of like choke point, essentially. But that probably isn't right.
Shit, sorry to interrupt. I have to dip, actually. Sorry. I have to go.
You're good.
It was good to recount. If anything else major, like, that I would need to know, just, you know, like, send me a message or plop it in chat. Yeah, bye, 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 bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Something happened.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. If something was on fire, he would have said that. I'm sure. But, yeah. Yeah, so you're asking, like, what kind of perception, really, did you get of Withervale?
Yeah, like, did they, like... Because I don't think we found out, like, if there was, like, a specific reason, like, why this town specifically, because it is far off from where they were. They spent a lot of resources in, like, building a tank and, like, all the weapons they had and all this, coming all the way out here to this specific place.
Yeah.
Like, was there a reason, like...
The raiders, you mean? Like, yeah, they spent a lot of...
Like,
a lot of effort.
They spent a lot of resources and effort for this small little rinky-dink place. Like, why? I mean, if we weren't there, they would have plowed right through.
Yeah.
I think, but...
For sure, and
I also remember that there was a lot of good soil there for, like, farming and that sort of thing.
That is true. They definitely did mention that when they were giving you the tour. You saw as you got into Withervale, too, that it was a bit greener than before. But if somebody want to make the first roll of the brought back, give me an investigation, because you guys have been moving, and just doing for so long and not really pausing too long to think, okay, why did they send me on this? Why are the raiders putting such a huge effort into this place? Yes, it looks like it's a good strategic place, but you haven't really been given a ton of information.
Investigation?
Yeah.
I was going to say I was going to help, but that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, with a 20, for sure. Bishop, I think especially, you are coming from the NCR. You knew that this was going to be a good place that you could make a profit, but you didn't quite understand what other areas might be profitable. From your point of view, you knew that it was a place that would need some kind of weaponry, and that was a good trading post. But when you got there, you saw landscape that you hadn't seen, maybe in a long time, maybe ever, who knows. And you see the potential, probably more than some of your other group members, in this place for lots of things. For trading, for strongholds, for the NCR, for building a civilization again, a place where people could start over. So it makes sense to you, and you can choose to relay this out loud to your group, that a lot of people would want a place like this. It makes sense that it would be contested, but as far as the raiders putting this much effort into it, and such a strangely organized thing, you've had some experience with raiders, I'm sure, and Ethan, I know you've been out kind of on your own, and Anders and 1218 have been out on your own. You guys have probably involved yourselves with smaller raider groups before. This was a much more organized kind of thing than you had seen. So that is what sticks out mostly in your mind and is left being the most confusing thing, is how are they, not even why are they, but how are they so organized? The other raider groups that you've seen before are smaller pockets, and yeah, they're good at killing, but usually they're hopped up on a lot more drugs, and they're just disorganized and haphazard and take big risks. This seemed much more strategic, much more like a military.
So yeah, I would definitely kind of give that whole reasoning of, yeah, no, this is a good place to be. This is got good land, got a decent location. Anybody who's really wants to have any kind of sustainable resources probably would see this as a valuable place to be.
Now that you guys are kind of pausing and thinking about this, I know we kind of wrapped everything up very suddenly the last time because we had gone over with the fight and everything. But you guys will have a choice coming up soon as far as what you want to do next. As you were kind of surveying the damage, you know that you will have a place in Withervale, should you choose to want to kind of stay there and see what other help you can provide to Braum or Emmett or anybody there. You'll have the options to go join caravans that are heading to Sands Rest, which you're not quite sure what that is, but you know that there are some people that are linked to Withervale. You know that it's to the southwest. You know that it is on a trail south, kind of around Crater Lake, conveniently avoiding the whole area of the winds. You know that there's still that elusive scrap pile of goodies that as the NCR was infiltrating Withervale and kind of taking their hold, they heard the rumors as well, and they were interested in it. And I believe Ethan, his parents were mentioned by the NCR, and he was, they had been given his name, and were told to reach out to him and his compatriots to try and track down where this pile is, what exactly it contains, and basically just check it out for him, see if it's something that the NCR could use, whether or not you guys choose to do this on your own accord, whether you choose to do it as a NCR liaison. With Liam staying behind Bishop, I know that was the person that you kind of came into this with, and while you guys weren't, tied to any kind of mission together necessarily, do you feel any kind of pulls to help the NCR, or are you kind of going off more rogue on your own? What are you kind of thinking now that Liam has basically told you he's staying behind in Withervale to set this up as a station?
So the thing with Bishop is that he was tasked up there to coming and establishing a trade route with the local NCR base for the gun runners. If that's been established, he's kind of waiting for further instruction from the gun runners. I know we briefly mentioned Rook as being my superior down in the northern New California gun runner operation. But until I receive any kind of guidance or direction from the gun runners, I'm basically my own man.
Okay. Did you ever, and this might be just something that I may have missed, but did you ever mention that the gun runners, did you have a point of contact at a base or nearby that you talked to?
Well, Rook would have been the person who I would have been in communication with.
I'm sorry, who was that? My alarm was going off.
Rook.
Rook, got it, okay.
Yeah. Think the little castle piece on the chessboard.
And was this somebody with the gun runners, with NCR, with Yes?
Gun runners.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So you're kind of like, hey, and until they call me in, Mom didn't say come home for dinner, so I'm good to go.
That's essentially it, yeah.
Awesome. So there's Ethan, who we'll just figure out. I mean, he's been asked by NCR whether or not he decides to do that. We'll find out when he comes back from his emergency in a couple weeks. But like 1218 and Anders, what are you guys kind of thinking? 1218, you and Bitsworth, your new buddy, you had a bit of a sticky situation, and then you got out of it and blew up a bunch of stuff, which sounds like it was fun. And Anders, you lost your shit for a minute, beat the shit out of a mute man, and yeah, that was an interesting fight.
Fun.
That happened.
Those things happened. I don't know if you guys had a minute yet to talk to each other about those. You guys were kind of on opposite sides.
So are we picking up like right where we left off, kind of thing? Or
essentially, yes. So like based on your exploration comments and stuff like that, I didn't want to route you straight down to Sans Rest. So this can just be a discussion of kind of what you guys are talking about right after the fight, and what you guys are deciding to do next as a group or not as a group.
Well, Anders has a reason to go to Sans Rest. He has to talk to Penny.
That is true. Yep. Yeah, you were asked to if you happen that way, please reach out to Penny. She has good information for you. And who did you get that information from? Your best friend?
What's her name?
Yeah, you guys are such good
Annie
friends.
DeGray?
Annie DeGray. Yes, I do have her written down. She still owes me a beer.
She does.
She bought me that beer.
It was pretty terrible and warm.
Everything out here is terrible and warm. You get used to it.
So Anders feels the pull to go talk to Sans Rest. Why why did you make such a sudden connection to Annie DeGrey, despite her, demeanor and whatnot, speaking to your demeanor and whatnots? What about her in particular is getting you eager to go talk to Penny about another mission, about another side quest?
It's the interaction with a kindred spirit. Anders has pretty much been in just straight basic survival mode for decades now. As soon as he got out of Vault 12, he's just like, okay, well, this is all shit. Well, I guess I gotta figure out how to eat. Do I have to eat? I guess I have to eat. Sort of wandering, doing whatever odd jobs he needs to, and just trying to keep living. And to see someone who clearly has felt the same way find a home for themselves is very, oh, I guess I could try to do that one more time.
It's inspiring almost that Anders can just keep going like that, like keep renewing that after all this time that there's some hope still lingering down there. He hasn't quite given up on yet, even though he sounds pretty bitter.
It's feelings that he hasn't seen in a long time, and it's less just Annie, and it's more Annie's connection to the children.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying about the kindred spirit, because she definitely has that same tone that you have as far as bitter Betty. Been doing some survival stuff, some terrible things that maybe she didn't want to do, but now she's kind of focused on the future, and maybe that's what kind of speaks to you.
Exactly it.
But you're cool with beating up a mute guy, so I don't know.
Accidentally beating up a mute guy in a furious rage.
Furious rage, yes. Yeah, that was pretty brutal, and I don't know that 1218, I don't know that you saw that from all the way up in your guard tower where you were Bitsworthing from.
I don't think so, because he was concentrating on moving Bitsworth and attempting to cover people in glue and then getting both of his hands stuck shut so he couldn't use his guns, and just shit stopped happening properly. So there was frustration, but the battle ended shortly after, I believe.
Yeah,
so I think he wasn't really even facing, because he was in the town when that happened, right? And then he ran to the back of the town, because he was up front dealing with people that were trying to break in. So I don't think he would have seen that, or they would have seen that.
Yeah, from what I remember tactically, it was a lot of you, Liam, and Bishop up front. Ethan was an elf hopping roof from roof. And Anders, you ran into town. You were up front for a minute, and then you ran into town. I believe, did you run over to Anna DeGrey to kind of help that siege that was happening over the fencing there?
I thought they were trying to get in from the back door. Anders firmly believed that, oh shit, the back door's open, they're coming in. And that's why he bolted to the back, and he just like, that's a face I don't recognize. Kablam! Oh wait, I do recognize this face.
So, okay, yeah, so you hoofed it straight from front to back, like, no, I got this, and started beating, and then you're like, wait a minute, blink, blink, that's Tobias.
Immediately from back to front again.
Ran back and forth.
And if there's been...
Didn't you freak the hell out of Annie?
Oh, that was at the end, because the last bit of jet-fueled fury, I was like, what about the kids? Are they okay? And I just start bolting towards the children. All four is just full feral running.
Well...
Which I'm sure didn't frighten them at all. You're just like a very green, strange-shaped dog to them, I'm sure.
Purely a puppy.
Just a puppy. Yeah, so...
We got stitched back together, at least, at one point. 1218 tried to repair him. I missed everything.
As long
else.
as they're mostly intact, 1218's like, you're fine, nothing's even hanging off. Yeah, so, like, Bishop and I feel like Bishop and 1218 had a real moment, you know, as far as, like, the montage of getting ready for the battle, because you guys were all about, you know, boosting the robot bartender signal, and getting together some explosives and some Molotovs, and, you know, Bitsworth came out, and you got him all set up and everything like that, so I feel like Bishop and 1218 were in the front really kind of dealing with the fact that they have a giant catapult and are catapulting all sorts of horrible things into the Withervale. There was the tank at the rear, children stuffed inside of it. Figured out that, yeah.
Drugged up children stuck inside of it.
Yep, drugged up children who begged you not to kill them, and you guys were able to get them all safely out of there and kind of ushered them over to the rest of the children that were still in town. Fought off the various attacks that were coming off the side. You had the mysterious shooter made an appearance briefly to do a clutch save on, I believe that was either Liam or Ethan. And I'm sure you've heard the story from one or the two of them, but you didn't see it, so, you know, it's just like the Bat Squatch thing, you know? Do you believe it, or not so much? Maybe it was Bat Squatch, maybe it was somebody else. Just a good shot. I don't know why they'd be out in the mountains, but who knows? And then there was the final siege where, yeah, 1218, you had some sticky fingers going on, but you still, you know, Bitsworth was making his way back and forth and back and forth. And you guys knocked down their forces. They had a last-ditch effort that kind of broke through a little bit, but you guys cleaned that up real nice, and now you find yourself with Withervale. Braum is overwhelmed with paperwork right now. He's just... He was hesitant about doing it in the first place, but thought that this was the best decision. He trusted Liam to you know, have the town's best interest at heart. He seemed genuine enough, and so he was told that the NCR would help with this fight, and they kind of did. They gave you guys some assistance, which I'm not quite sure if you used all of that in the battle or not. But they gave you some assistance, some explosives, but probably not as many.
Ammunition.
Yeah, not as many as Bishop would have liked. There was no bags of stuff, but still, some help was had by the NCR, and now they're taking over Withervale. They're upholding your discount. Go ahead.
It was almost like an insulting level of help, like, given the situation.
Yeah.
Like, it was more a slap in the face than an actual assistance.
Yeah, like, I mean, how many of you think that? Bishop, I mean, you were probably the closest aside from Liam. Do you think that they should have sent people? Do you think they should have sent more guns? You know, kind of what they had available to them, and it wasn't a ton, but surely more than that, right?
Understanding how the NCR operates and how there has to be 6 people there on base at all times, I feel like they could have spared the couple of people that actually came out to meet us. And
people,
they
like,
probably could have provided a few more explosives.
Yeah, people who do what they, like, know how to handle these sort of situations, because, like, yeah, people in the town probably know how to shoot a gun, but they're not going to be, like, have military tactics. In the raiders were very organized.
And while their landmines were helpful, I think it would have been helpful to set them up more in a perimeter around the city and blow them up as they got close. And pick off the wounded and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Bishop is all about the more explosives. Well, you guys remember, I believe, well, let's just say, if Liam didn't tell you out loud, that he did now, that there was a loud explosion around the crossroads area as the people were heading into town, and Liam communicated to you probably after the battle that they did attempt to set up some kind of road, you know, ambush to wither down their numbers a little bit, but that overall you guys all kind of got the impression that, yeah, I mean, I get that it's slim pickings over there and you're a small outpost right now, but if you want this place so bad, probably should have sent a little something more. And it's never enough explosives for Bishop, but could have helped
Bishop's
out.
really been eyeing the single anti-material rifle that the gun runner sent up to the NCR outpost. Because he knows there's some fun ammunition that could be had with those.
So yeah, you guys got some choices coming up. So you have the brochure for Crater Lake, and while that clearly is an old brochure before the bombs, before everything, you get the impression there's still something there. Whether it's a big hole, a big something you can't quite see because the winds have been pretty brutal, and you haven't really gotten any solid advice for how to traverse through them. You know that something's there, whether or not it's horrible or maybe that's where the scrap pile is. You're not quite sure, but there's some signs that are pointing for you guys to go out there. There's some pointing for Sand's Rest. What? And this might be a little too direct, but you can kind of give me a general answer or be as specific or vague as you want. What does your character want right now? Now that you guys you still don't have a clear answer about the Raiders. Withervale is kind of in between. You didn't really belong there. You weren't really a permanent fixture there anyway. What does your character want now most?
Get his hand pincers unstuck.
Some nail polish remover, anybody? Paint thinner?
Guns, and more guns. I might not have a task, but I still got a job.
Anders has only ever wanted one thing: to continue breathing. But in the back of his mind, he has the word home. He wants a home.
Now, 1218, yeah, I'm sure there would be some people helping you at some point with your hand situation. Like, there's so many humans here that are making so many dumb mistakes. Are you trying to help them all? Are you just like, oh, for fuck's sake, never mind?
He is more attached with, like, the group. Like, 1218's whole thing was, like, trying to fix things, and it's getting, I understand what I'm trying to say in my head, but putting words to it is, like, not functioning right now.
Well, there's definitely plenty for you to fix.
Yes, like, it's not even just, like, things, like, Anders is very obviously broken, but not just, like, the physical thing. Like, people have things about them that need fixing, and there's always part of him that wants to fix that too, but he doesn't have the skills to do that. But he could be around to fix everything else and make life easier in that way. But at the same time, it's like, when it comes to, like, humans as a group, it's very begrudging because, like, humans consistently do stupid shit. Like it's one thing, like, okay, Raiders fought and everything's broken and everyone's messed up and everyone's upset. That's one thing, but a lot of times people, like, just make the stupid decisions and whatnot. So he's half the time he's like, why am I bothering? And the other half the time is like, this is what I have to do.
Would you say that's like a programmed directive for you? Like, is that how 1218 works?
I think the repair part is it was programmed because he was initially supposed to, that's what he was. Like, he fixed things. But as he developed into more of what he is now, like he's having more opinions on things, like reasons to fix things as opposed to it's broken. Like, is it worth fixing? Like, he didn't have that initially, but now there's thoughts coming about, like, is there worth in this, or do you let it go? And it's like confusing.
That's a good question. Because, I mean, at what point does 1218 kind of get overloaded with the amount of people that could be helped, could be fixed? Where do you stop? Where does the mission actually define, if at all? That's crazy. And I'm sure a lot of people...
I think that's kind of why he would rather stay with, like, the smaller group than in, like, a whole community, because he doesn't have, like, his protocols aren't, like...
Hello.
Hi, Ed!
Hello.
Hi, return.
Welcome.
Yeah, but, like, he doesn't have, like, defined protocols as much anymore as opinions. And that's, like, a weird transition to have.
That's nice, though. I mean, was 1218... I know 1218 was pretty loyal to their original creator. Yeah, I'm like, wait. They were pretty loyal to their one human, and then that human went away. So is the loyalty maybe transferring to this small group just to keep it manageable?
Yeah, like, not used to dealing with communities, like they'll wander through and be like, oh, that's broken, and then, like, leave and, like, keep going. But, like, this is really more getting stuck with, like, actual people for an extended length of time.
Oh, was 1218 an introverted robot?
Doesn't know how to people. Isn't actually people, so, like...
Just mimics people. Question mark screen.
Yes.
Ethan, we were just kind of talking about, like, specifically what your character is looking for from the next. Like, we talked about overall what you guys would like to see more of in the game, and we got answers like more exploration and, like, more, you were here for it. More exploration, more, like, home building, that kind of thing, and just kind of free world stuff. Now, what in character, given that you're still at Withervale, you haven't made a decision on where to go, what is driving you? I know the NCR specifically asked Ethan, they knew your parents, they knew your name. Does that weird you out at all? Are you cool with going on a mission based on the NCR? Are you going to tell them yes and then do your own thing? What are you thinking about that?
So Ethan probably would have known about his parents' history with the NCR, so that's all explained for him. And, I mean, if they have a request personally for him, he's not going to go and upset the biggest military power on the West Coast. So he'll probably go along, do that mission, and otherwise, just, like, personal goals would probably involve, like, seeking out and finding really cool old war, pre-war treasures.
Yeah, it sounds like that might be what they're sending you on. I know you, Anders, and 1218 were kind of grouped up going, where is this scrap pile? And it sounds like the NCR is sniffing out the same pile you were. You think you're gonna, keep some stuff for yourself should you find it? Or are you gonna be honest Joe?
Without question.
All right.
Of course.
Of course, that's mine, that's yours.
Yes.
Cool. I know we talked briefly about some characters that you might have connected with. Anders had a number, Bishop had a couple. I know, Bishop, you made a connection with Emmett and, Anna DeGray and a couple others, Braum in there too. Anders, you made connections with Annie DeGray and some others. There's Maeve that you guys all kind of connected with. Ethan, you got little Frank. Are you keeping a hold of him? Are you giving him to the kids? What are you doing with little Frank?
For now, definitely gonna keep little Frank, Ethan's little personal friend.
Yeah, he was able to
alongside his friends that he made.
He's able to jump from roof to roof with you, keep up, so why not?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Little mascot.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the kids, who knows? I mean, they might pet him too hard. He might just run away. It's best that you just keep him in your pouch, in your pack.
Exactly.
So I am at this point probably going to take some notes and turn it over to Kyle for a few minutes because he is going to go over some of the Google Docs. I don't know if I'm sure you guys still have access to them, but if you want the link, we can link them again and talk about some of the more downtimey kind of stuff, like some of the crafting and the toolkits and things like that we really didn't use a ton because you guys were constantly at go, 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 go. Now that we're going to have some more time to do exploration and stuff like this in this one, we really want to get into what you guys want to see, what you think of what we've done so far, and kind of how we want to tweak it. So I'll turn it over to him for a little bit.
So yes, as basically we've done parts of that with the storyline aspect with Sin, but basically what we're doing here mechanically with me. I know that we've used some of like the addiction and chems rules. Obviously, they came into play at the end of the last session, so those are also going to be a work in progress.
I don't know what you're talking about. Drugs didn't come into play at the end of last session.
Oh yeah, some of you took some drugs, didn't you?
Yes.
Hmm.
And Bishop came out for the better because of it. Unloaded 2 barrels of shotgun into what the frick was her name, Reagan?
Yeah, you blew the shit out of her.
Yeah, she has no head.
Yeah, I thought of that as I was sending you guys that photo. I'm like, well, this was... Okay, whatever. They'll understand. Even though she's not in pieces, they'll get it. Whatever. I am going to step on his toes for a story point that I forgot to ask. So I forgot that you guys, some of you, took drugs. Did you share that with the group? / how do each of you have opinions on the drugs that you've seen people take, either in your life before, either here now? Any positive, negative, or neutral opinions?
I'm going to remove any real-life connections to drugs because I've got some unhappy ones. But I don't think I necessarily outright shared that I took drugs, but I think it was pretty fucking obvious that I took something.
When he went all feral and just...
Yeah, that was a fucking show. Like, everyone was like, what? Everyone is giving me side eye, I'm sure, in town.
And I can't remember the exact circumstances of how Bishop took his, but to be honest, it's probably one of those things of I'm not showing any kind of weirdness about it. So
I think you just went like all
take as
buggy-eyed and then just were like, ah! And if you had a machine gun, you would have machine gunned. At least that's the way I remember it. You just got really fucking into it.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until we have machine guns.
I can't wait till I have an anti-material rifle.
Okay. And was there anybody else that took anything? Was it just Bishop and Anders?
It was just Bishop and Anders.
Okay. Ethan, 1218, do you guys have any opinions on any of those kinds of things?
They're generally, like, the way it works, it's like the more you take, the more addicted you get, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, there's spiraling steps.
because, like, yes, they have their uses, but it would probably tend to always be like, this isn't something humans should, be allowed to control on their own because they never make the right decisions and stop when they should stop. But, like, if 1218, like, somehow managed to, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like, control it, like, the who gets what, when, it would be fine, but, like, 1218 would, like,
When it is up to the stupid humans'
When it's up
decisions.
to the humans, it's not going to go well. So they're going to spiral and everything's going to die. Like,
So if you guys see like a collection of drugs or something, you're gonna try and be the bag of holding for the group. Be like, no, you already
to be
had
like,
some.
No.
Awesome. I'm sure that'll go over really well once the people are fully addicted to stuff that you just are holding it hostage.
But the point is to try to prevent that from happening.
Just
I
put it
can't
on
remember,
Bitsworth and send him up in
Didn't
the air.
Anders fail his addiction check?
Anders failed his addiction check. Anders is already addicted to drugs.
It's twitching.
Sigh.
And I believe the rule specifically for Jet is you cannot just wait and get over your addiction. You have to see a doctor or get Addictol or do something like important and to get
Something to fix it.
Yeah, addiction level to Jet cannot go below 1 without specialized medical care, consisting of at least 1 week of downtime. So I have to sit, and I have to wait, and I have to see a doctor.
Yeah,
And
Jet's
Anders
no fucking joke.
Anders does not like doctors.
It's okay, I'm sure doctors don't like Anders either.
That's
Ooh.
very true.
Doctors hate him.
I don't know. They keep trying to take things, something called a biopsy. They just want to biopsy everything. Keep pulling off my skin. That's weird. Doesn't hurt, mind you, but it's just weird.
Yeah, that's another thing as well for sure. Medical, like specifically you bringing up that medical care. I mean, you guys have lost your in-group doctor,
Oh, right.
and like how is that going to affect you guys moving forward?
People are gonna die more.
I mean, Bishop
People are
has
gonna die more.
basic training for medical stuff, but it's nothing like Liam had.
If 1218 has medicine and kits, but is not a people.
You keep trying to plug them into stuff, it just doesn't work.
Shocking them with the like cattle prods doesn't help.
It's weird. I don't know why.
Heal, damn you!
Well, I mean, not to metagame, but we are like pretty close to getting our 4th level. I think maybe given the absence, one of us might, pick up the slack.
By all means, always.
And I could also see what Jay wants to play around. That'll help.
Yeah, and
We lost our healer.
I personally do like playing healers. I am playing a cleric in a game on this very channel. I have been thinking about doing that now that I've found out our healer is leaving.
2 things. 3 things. A,
Number 1.
Anders is very interesting. I don't know how I feel about you wanting to change characters. 2,
Oh,
by
no,
all
no.
means,
Not
please
changing
better do
not changing characters, just taking the healer feat at level 4.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
It's a thing.
That's the thing. Also, if
I've never
Okay,
give up
after-
Anders. You crazy?
also yes, a little bit. I forgot both of my other points. God damn it. By all means, please metagame as needed. Athy, if Joe has any questions whatsoever, have him feel free to post them in chat or DM me directly, or if available, even like 15 minutes before any of the games that we have going on, I can log on and get some chat in real quick, or like make an appointment. Figure it out. So that he can be wheels down and rolling on the ground as fast as possible.
Yes.
Yes. Healer's good. Okay. respec. Obviously, this is a new system. There are still some kinks out of it. If you guys are not feeling certain elements of your class, or if something is not feeling mechanically right with the way you want your character to be represented, let me know and we can work it out and change it. Obviously, the group's composition is changing a little bit. You guys have just gotten over your first hurdle, metagaming-wise, in this campaign series. So things aren't feeling right. We'll figure it out. I'm down with a decent amount of, hey, this isn't the way I want it. Let's make it right. Cue end rant on that front. Crafting. More downtime coming. We had some basic rules in place. I still have the Google Docs up. It's pinned in the DM notes. The link for all of them. We've set it basically down to the basic level of 5 requirements. Somebody to make it, stuff to make it, some way to make it, the knowledge of how to make it, and then fucking putting in some time and making it.
We must seize the means of production.
Yes.
Scoped 44 revolvers for 1218.
And there's obviously there's examples of things that you can craft throughout, like obviously weapons and armor. Chems are obviously something that we can talk about as well. If you're crafting, like Breaking Bad amounts of chems, we might have to talk about mass distribution. I imagine that would be like the campaign going in that direction itself, kind of thing. So these crafting parts might also dictate parts of our story. These downtime things might dictate parts of our story. Which is the upside of not running a printed module. But the doc is up and out, and there's an example in there for armor, etc. And we've also introduced the special materials.
I do want to say, actually, now that I'm looking over the the rule set blog post that we're using, I think they made some updates.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm looking at there's a revisions and updates posted November 10th from last year.
Which is literally right after our session ended.
Yeah.
So they watched our session and made some
Maybe they did, I don't know.
I would love to think that. I would love to. That's what we're going to go with until proven otherwise. I feel that that's very accurate.
Ooh, costs are now given in a dollar amount rather than their value.
God fucking
hell fucking.
Alright, so that is definitely something that I will look at as well.
Where's the updates?
Just all of the original GM binder stuff that we looked at is all updated. Which, like, looking at things, I don't think we were necessarily that far off. I remember having to spend a buttload of... Actually, a lot of these costs are higher. I remember the tactical vest was purchased for something like 750.
We were using
caps,
the low end of the values.
Yeah, it's listed as 900.
So, sounds like they're going with mid-range of the values.
Looks like it.
Ironically, the medic just got a rework the last month.
Awesome. So that's definitely... I will have to look through it as you guys look through it as well. Please. questions, link me stuff, etc. So we'll for now we will go with class updates. Like if they've done something, talk to me about it. If you want it, pretty much you'll really be able to choose A or B instead of whatever's up. We'll stick with the crafting system that we have for now until I can read, evaluate, and process, and we'll also stick with our currency rules for now. I feel like since we've started at the bottom of the spectrum, it'll be a lot more appropriate to stay on that path. Also, there's not a lot of fucking bottle caps in the wasteland, so like I don't want to run inflation numbers. It ain't happening. I mean, it probably would happen. That sounds really fucking dirty and something like I would want to do, but
Maybe if we could just start casting bottle caps.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, did someone mention forgery?
it definitely won't have any implications on your campaign setting at all. Yeah, obviously that's an optional rule that we made. I will look at this stuff when it'll be in between schools, so we might not have a benefited like updates to the already printed crafting system that we have. I might make some improvements. It'd probably be after the first session back, because there's going to be a lot of reading here. That'll definitely be good. Going through the Google Docs, anybody else feeling anything is a little bit off? Moving in, so I will leave that question open, and then I will start to talk about a different section of these rules. So anybody have anything immediately?
Not me.
I need to stab through things a little bit, but yeah, so far fine.
Mm-hmm.
Given that
wait a
we're
minute. Hold
okay,
on.
go ahead.
We've got a bit of an issue. I just realized that we don't know the original value to a lot of these things that we're now looking at. Did anybody save that?
I think there was a table saved in one of
The currency rules?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You did. Somebody did put. Yeah, you did save those tables. Okay, I remember where they are now.
Yeah. Yep, currency
All right.
rules.
Disregard. No, not the currency rules, but the actual value
Yeah, the table for
of the armor and the weapons.
Yeah, we have an armor and weapon rules document as well.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
But new weapons were added is the problem.
No, jeez.
Like a combat rifle, combat shotgun, riot shotgun, there was like 3 more. But that's all.
That should, and I mean, that'll, that's just adding a couple more things in. I'll be able to look at and assess, and we'll figure out the right pricing for those things. What, if anything, would make them craft.
I think we all trust you.
And
There's a freaking gunslinger advanced class now.
That's what I am. There's been a gunslinger.
Has there?
Because I am it.
Okay.
Oh, there would have had to have been one.
Yeah.
Then there must be a reason why I didn't take gunslinger over soldier.
I think it might have been just that there was somebody else who wanted to be a gunslinger and you felt better as a soldier, and you made the sacrifice. We appreciate that.
Maybe that. Yeah. Oops.
Gunslinger. Martial range weapons. Soldier.
That's the downside of getting updates.
That's why I took soldier over gunslinger. All weapons, all armor, all military.
There it is.
That'll do it. All military vehicles. Damn. Yo, if we ever find a vertibird.
You know who's flying it.
Hey.
Well, I mean, you guys have a tank, so he's
Made out of
proficient
wood.
in driving that tank.
Proficient in wooden tank.
Unpowered wooden tank. Let's see. Did I? Oh, I took the close quarters shooter. Okay.
So yeah, obviously I will update and go about it as quickly as possible. I will always pin patch notes. I will be very transparent about patch notes, unlike some other people. Here's looking at you, Fallout 76.
I mean, I'm waiting for content updates. I'll check them out.
Well, we're taking notes of all the things that you guys have said that you wanted, and then we're just gonna have a ceremony where we burn all of them and then do whatever we want. Update things that we want to do. So, thanks,
I
Bethesda.
still have real high hopes, but they're hopes only.
They need to get the modding package out for that game.
Right, like just let it happen. Let everybody else take care of your game for you, because you're clearly not
As
going to.
always.
Yeah, that's the only way their games have ever been redeemed. And not that their games have always been bad. This is their worst game they've probably ever released.
It's so sad because it's
But-
fun.
In the modern
Why do you
era.
think I haven't bought it?
Yes.
It is
As
fun.
of recently, it's the
It's
worst.
just a pain.
Yes. Gameplay was enjoyable until you hit a wall where it's like, okay, nothing is different anymore. Enemies just have more health. I have to use more resources that I can't get back to fight.
And then I have to go
However, I
grind.
will say I hit 76 hours in that game. I got the achievement for 76 hours. I will never say I didn't get my money's worth out of that game. I absolutely 100% got what I wanted from that game, and when they release more content updates, hopefully they're for free, and I will get even more enjoyment out of that game. I don't feel cheated. I just feel like they
Disappointed.
I'd feel disappointed, yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand the people that have 200 hours in the game and feel like they haven't gotten their money's worth yet. It's like, you played it for this long, you had to have enjoyed it.
Unless you're a horrible
It's
masochist.
Rage gaming. Like, why would you be doing it at that point?
Vanilla WoW. I don't know. I like the game. It's just how many times do you want to keep rebuilding the same thing? How many times is that quest going to bug out where I get one token at a time and I can never get the outfit? And I just live near the Camden Park forever, hoping. Anyway, I'm proud. We lasted an hour and 15 minutes before ranting about Fallout 76. Good job, guys. Woo!
Anyway, Kyle, you said there were other parts of rule sets that you wanted to go over?
Yes, so hand in hand with crafting, which is updated / might be having to be a little bit edited now that there's more things out. With the theme of exploration, moving to new areas, seeing new things, we're going to revisit the idea and reinforce the idea of food and drink.
What? Were
All right.
people not paying attention to that? Because I was.
I also was.
I don't think it was a you guys thing. I think it
to.
was more a us thing, like checking in constantly with it.
Well,
Every
just
single
know
meal
that
check-in.
We've taken care of it for you.
Yes.
There's now a punt gun in that table.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I
A what
want
gun?
that.
A punt
It is
gun.
It is a gun used for hunting ducks that is so large It needs to be installed upon a boat.
Or shoulder mounted on another person.
Oh my god. A pun. Holy. What the hell?
It is for hunting fowl. Big old fucking shotgun.
I think
Which
that would just
is a little
obliterate
disappointing
a
that it's
small
only-
bird.
But why is it so big? Like,
the small bird
ducks are
wouldn't
not
more
that
pellet.
big.
Yes.
It's for mass hunting. Basically, get the entire flock up in the air, and there's enough pellets in that thing and enough spray that you can take down
most of the
half
So
or
flock.
it's
three-quarters of
like-
the flock.
Yeah.
Nobody needs skill with this gun. It's just
Basically, yes.
aim
It
and
is-
you will hit something.
Yes.
Consider it a shotgun ballista.
Oh my god.
You need to like
Truly terrifying.
install like the like on a 12-18 shoulder, like something that should just lean that thing on.
No, you need to put this on when Bitsworth is a large creature. You can install a punt gun.
I don't know if I'm gonna go large, but maybe.
I mean, that's what it would take, honestly. I
Yeah.
think.
Do it.
Yeah, just
so now that-
Bitsworth has an internal mounted punt gun that he can use for attacks.
I mean, you put a punt gun on a flying Bitsworth, like that would have been really helpful in the siege that you guys just had.
I don't-
That would have been the most lopsided thing.
Yeah, if
Just flying
he,
in circles.
If he was able to keep afloat with that thing, as soon as he shot it, he would have been the next state over. That's the
Yeah,
kind of
you
recoil
can't
we're
put
talking
a punt
about.
gun on something that is flying.
Oh yeah, watch me.
Okay, let's
Vertibird.
reiterate that. Flying and small.
I mean, maybe if you had the punt gun point straight down, oh my god, that's amazing. Just fuck
that's
Fury
that's how it suspends itself. The punch
That
gun
would've-
pogo stick.
That would have been the only way that like Bitsworth would have carried if it was pointing straight down. Because just
Oh
take
my
out all the
God.
things.
Freaking loving it.
That's how Bat Squatch gets around.
Bat Squatch! He's real, I tell ya!
He's got a rocket pack now. What the fuck?
I'm just like looking at these pictures, like, why? It's silly.
I don't want food and drink getting in the way of our playing. So what we'll probably end up doing is creating a standardized resource, probably called food and drink, that we can update just like ammo, and then we'll be able to make a macro to deduct it from everybody.
It shouldn't be much of a thing unless you guys go off. Like you guys have been in Withervale, you've been in Chem, you've been in the NCR post, like that kind of stuff lately. But if you guys go off, that's when it's going to start getting real. And I think that will kind of lend to the whole super mutant, I want to feel my life is threatened kind of, but vibe.
Yeah,
Hopefully not in a bogged down kind of way.
be one of those things of if we're gone out of town for like more than a day,
Right.
it becomes a thing.
And then eventually there's plans to weave it into the kind of like whatever home civilization you guys end up wanting to craft. There will obviously be that option, kind of like there was to create your own garden-y kind of stuff.
Yeah. Set up
yeah.
farms. Mute fruit.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
So, last thing that we really have, and then we'll open it up for anything you guys want to do, and then we'll probably wrap for the evening as we talk about, like, when we're going to meet up next and what we're going to get into right off the bat and what you guys have to have ready, which isn't much. Basically, toolkits. So, we've got, and by we, I mean 1218. Yeah, has the toolkits. She has a kit of toolkits.
So many. So
we
many
need to start
toolkits.
using those like a lot more, and that's definitely part of my bad.
They used a bunch of them for various things when it came up. At least half of them got used. The mason
And I know
tools
Bishop
did not.
used a couple of his as well.
Weaver's tools did not.
Oh, Weaver's tools.
Kept
You
my
know,
best.
Yeah, that actually. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. And in a world like, I mean, this is based off of 5th edition, but this game doesn't have any magic. So how do you create things without magic? You use tools, and that's why we're kind of looking at that and wanting to do it and push it a little bit harder. And that'll go hand in hand with your A, exploration, and B, long-term goals of making a part of the world. They are also in the crafting section. So 1218, if you want to do all of the things, tools are an integral part of quickly
Doing the things.
crafting. Is there, I mean, kind of as a group poll, is there anything that you're not crafting right now that you want to be?
Guns. Explosives. I need to do my job.
You gave me tape, and I have multiple guns. Why am I not taping my guns to other guns?
I need a larger bat with more nails in it.
I want my bat to have bats, and those bats to have nails.
Bats on
Super
bats on
sledge.
bats. Oh my god, if we could eventually get a super sledge, I would be very happy.
I want an undermounted shotgun on my cowboy repeater.
What? Shit. Just Buck from R6.
But where's the knife on it?
That'll
Under
be
the
mounted
shotgun.
on top.
Under the shotgun.
No, it'll be mounted on top of it. It'll act as my foresight.
Oh, there
right.
you go.
Then if you press the button on the left, an arrow shoots out of the side. It's good stuff.
No, the bayonet is spring-loaded.
Arrows are Ethan's thing.
Hey, I claimed elf. I mean, not elf.
It is the perfect weapon for a stealth-based gunslinger. Because the gunslinger bonuses apply to ranged weapons, not guns.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, ranged damage slinger just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Exactly. I'm a gunslinger. You have a bow on your back. Your point?
There's an asterisk next to
Explosive
gun.
arrowheads. I can make them explosive arrowheads.
Oh my god. This needs to happen. Although that kind of counteracts the whole stealth point. But yeah, I like it.
No, you shooting them would still be stealthy.
That's true. Somebody would just explode and everyone around them would freak the fuck out.
Exactly.
You could dip them in other stuff too. You could put poison on them or something, or maybe drugs. That would be hilarious.
Oh my
Drug
god.
arrows.
The,
You're
uh,
addicted now.
That's so fucked. I love it. Or like the oh fuck, those things in Fallout 76 where they detonated and you just started getting horribly irradiated. put one of those on an arrow, fire the arrow where no one will see it, and then suddenly they're all dying and they don't know.
Evil.
I think between Bishop and Love 18, they could finagle some pretty interesting.
Anything.
Yeah.
Basically.
I've got mechanics tools too.
Like, you have ideas? We can do this.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah,
We
and
should
I'm
do
sure
that.
that there will be things that are a little bit off book, something that doesn't line up quite with the listed items that you can craft. And in that case, just be like, I want to do this and this. And then I'll be like, well, it's really like this plus this with a multiplier for difficulty, so here's your estimate. And like a contractor, it may or may not be that much money, and it may or may not take that much time.
Right.
And I think that it'll make downtime, it'll put a little bit of variation or chance into parts of downtime with the option to get something really fucking cool.
I dig the option to get something really, really cool.
Yeah. Really cool stuff is really cool.
Drill out the core of Andrew's baseball bat, fill it with lead, give it the weighted property.
Fuck! Why is this so heavy?
I'm looking through the weapon stuff again, and there is actually an option for weighted. It's whenever you hit a creature with the weapon, that creature gains disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws to avoid being moved or knocked prone until the start of their next turn.
Oofa.
Oh, hey, you know what, guys? I'm just saying here. You're down a person temporarily. And, I think just to make it easier. So we're going to be skipping next week because Athy's out of town, and then we'll be picking up on the 24th. So I think I'm just going to bring the gavel down and say bump up to level 4. And now, we still have to read what the hell they dibbly-dobbled with the updates, but, like, you know.
They didn't. They
Not
didn't
most
change
of the
any
base
of the base
classes.
classes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And only like a couple of the advanced were changed.
Yeah, and
But
like
level 4 doesn't
even
get-
at level 4, especially, you only get the ability score increase. Everybody gets
Right.
the ability score increase.
Yes.
Yay.
I'm debating on whether to take skills feat and get more proficiencies in the actual kits.
Oh my god.
Just
Okay.
Feel
Well,
the shit.
So
But
that's a good point, though. Like, if you're like trying to decide what to do based on maybe how much is this thing going to be used, like if you have a question like that or anything, let us know. Like if that's keeping
Yeah.
you from making a decision or whatever.
I do have a question. With the techie thing in the robot in Bitsworth. I had it open. Where is it? Okay, the robot minion. Cause I forget if I asked this, but cause like I have upgrade points, like for the robot. And you could only like over a long rest you could spend up to a number of points equal to my intelligence modifier. There's something I would like to do, because being level 4, I would have 4 upgrade points. Can you do a partial upgrade? Like, say I want to use the 4 points, but I could only use 2 at a time because of my ability mod? Or would I have to have an ability mod of 4 to use that upgrade?
So
You know what I mean?
I would say it's
Like one like long rest, or what is it? Long rest, I think. Do like half of it, and then whenever the next rest happens, do the other half.
and it's a 4-point mod, is what you're saying.
Yes.
But you can only do 2 points of mods per long rest.
So yeah, that's why I'm asking. Like, can it be a like in the process working on it, like spend 2 and hold the other 2 for the next time you're able to? Blah 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 blah. Whereas, because of the way it's worded. Number of upgrade points equal to your level. During a long rest, you could spend these points to add various improvements to your robot or reclaim them by moving improvements. Over the course of a long rest, you could spend or reclaim a maximum of upgrade points equal to your intelligence modifier. But I will have 4.
I mean, I feel like that is the way that it should be interpreted. I'm having trouble finding the techie class, the techie advanced class.
It's in a separate, like, it's not combined with all the other base advanced classes
It's its own thing.
for whatever reason.
Yeah, it is its own thing. Okay, now I'm here. Now I'm reading. Now I can evaluate.
Well, I'm sure all of you have looked at level 4, since you guys were pretty close before. But if you have any other questions before the 24th, obviously say something while he reads this. Does anybody else have any other questions? Because that's pretty much going to wrap up for this evening. After we talk about Athie's level stuff. Anybody else have any questions or want to talk about what you guys are going to do or what?
Not about burning winds.
One-shot stuff?
I one-shot questions for you, Sin.
Oh, fun. We'll probably take those off of the stream.
Of course. I'm
Yeah.
not going to waste the stream time.
Wow.
Yeah, Athie, I would be good with, as long as you're only doing it 2 points at a time, and you treat the 2 points that you're working towards, like the 4-point total upgrade, as basically dead points. They don't do anything, but you put them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see any reason why you wouldn't have the time, unless you guys want to do something immediately time-sensitive right after this event.
We gotta lay for Sans Rest right fucking now.
And even then, though, like, 1218 can be lagging behind a bit, tinkering them. I mean, I'm assuming that if you guys end up going to Sans Rest right away, like I said, they're pretty on mosey mode. It's like anywhere in the south trying to drive on a Sunday, so, like, it's not urgent. Anyway, anybody else I'm going to offend? Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop the stream and then we can chat about whatever. But yeah, tune in on the 24th for the thrilling conclusion. And, you know, do stuff and things, and hopefully another person, maybe, Athie, Jay, Mayhap will be joining us. Okay, I'll take that groan as yes. Alright, so...
Yes.
Maybe we'll see another person, and maybe he'll have a name that begins after E to make my life easier. Alright, cool, so see you guys on the 24th, and...
Looking forward to it.